computer.
Good old Facebook here.
Go live.
Okay. You know that the podcast is getting ready to start when both of us are like scrambling around doing stuff.
Right, exactly. That's always how it works. All right, let me hit this go live button.
I'm wanting to say we probably are live.
It seems we've switched over. So,
Okay.
hey everybody. Welcome to Wednesday night. Hope you are having a good week, enjoying this weather before it turns bad again. This spring of deception, as they say here in Indiana. If
you
you're
don't
watching,
fool us, Indiana.
yeah. We're at that stage where we're going to get all 4 seasons in a week.
Yeah.
You know it?
Yeah, we are.
We're going to get like, which could be this week, right? Because we've gotten some nice spring, and we almost touched 70, and 70 to me says we're close to summer, which I know we're not.
No.
But it's also going to dip back into the 40s, and then it probably is going to have some freeze and rain this weekend. So really exciting times here in the Midwest. But anyway, we're glad that you can join us. We're glad you're with us here on a Wednesday night. This is the Evan Aaron Show. I'm Aaron. This is Evan. He's the professor. I'm the warrior poet. Let's get into it.
There you go.
Let's get into it. So first and foremost, and I know it was not in our here's what we're talking about tonight, but I think first and foremost we got to say a COVID relief bill has been passed both chambers. So we're going to see relief, and I think a theme that will become first off, cheers to everybody out there, and then shout out to the COVID relief bill. No bill is perfect, and I'm not going to run down every bullet point. It's out there, it's public. Go read it yourself, and actually go read it yourself. Don't believe the headlines from left-leaning newspapers. Don't believe the headlines from right-leaning newspapers. There is pork in the bill, no doubt. There's some shit that we shouldn't be messing with, but by and large, we are helping out people in poverty. Instead of giving a tax break to billionaires, we're going to try to get some children out of poverty. We're trying to get small businesses going. I saw that a particular airline thought they were going to have to furlough some people, and it was going to take effect this week. Where did I just see that? But anyway, it's going to be like 15,000 people going to be furloughed, and they said nope. Just kidding. They passed the COVID relief bill, and that includes unemployment
bailout money.
Not just the mailing out money, but it was a particular program that was going to come to an end otherwise. Lots of good things in it. They say that some checks are going to be going out by the end of this month. So for the people who need them, great. I think that's a good thing. There's a recurring theme on this program, and it's only there because it's something that we're observing, and nobody's done a good enough job to tell us that it's a poor observation. And along those lines, this bill basically had zero GOP support. A couple months ago, when they thought they were still going to be in charge, they were hyping about, how much money they were going to be given, $2,000. The former guy said, yes, these people need $2,000. Now that it comes time to literally put their money where their mouths are, they oppose it, and they oppose it for just the silliest of reasons. So in the past week, while one party has been diligently trying to refine a bill to help out millions of people in this country, the other party is worried about decisions being made about Dr. Seuss children books, potatoes, and Britney Spears, apparently now. So really,
that's a new one on me. I didn't know about that one.
Where it's not hard to look and see where priorities are, and I'm not going to pretend that the Democrats don't play politics. Everybody does. It's politics. You have to play the game. But to me, the Democrats play politics with the end goal of trying to help people, and obviously line their own pockets. They wouldn't be doing it if they couldn't get something out of it. But I don't see where the Republicans help people. And this is just another example. They opposed it just for the simple purpose of they opposed everything Obama did. They're not going to oppose everything Biden does. Doesn't matter, how bipartisan. There's something like 70% public support for this, 60% Republican. This should be a no-brainer. If you want to oppose certain things, but this week we've seen bills get passed restricting voting rights for people. And let's call it for what it is: very specific people, people of color,
Yeah, that's where I want
minorities,
to land.
impoverished people.
Yep.
So this is just a thread for me that runs directly through what's going on in our politics right now. And if your response to that is to talk about pizza parlors and pedophiles, then we're just not working on the same realm of reality here.
No.
Evan, what do you think of the success of the bill? And what do you think of the GOP's current efforts to basically impede the progress of American society?
Well, man, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, the bill, it's got what, like 80+% Democratic support. It's got 58% Republican support.
Mhm.
It's got 68% independent report, which I think altogether, like you said, is about 70. The average is about 70% of all Americans are like, yeah, we need this. Right now Biden's numbers are in the low 60s as far as approval rate, which Trump never sniffed during his entire presidency.
Trump was never on the positive side, was he? He was never above 50.
No, he wasn't. No, I think maybe he hit 50 like day of inauguration, where a lot of people were like, okay, let's see what happens. But I think given those facts, man, I don't think you can dispute that right now. Democrats are trying to make sure that the American people are taken care of. And here's the deal: is that it very well could be. It could be that is this is this a lot of money? Yes, it's a lot of money. And is it the thing we should have done? Well, time will tell. But in the moment that we're in right now, I think that this is a slam dunk. I think it's a no-brainer, this bill. And what kills me, and I don't think it was Kristen Sinema, I think it was Joe Manchin that voted no against this, along with every other. I'm sorry, not Joe Manchin, but in the House, I think it was. I forget his name, but there was one Democrat to vote against this. Mm-hmm. And every single Republican, like every single one, which kills me, because you're talking on one hand Josh Hawley and Liz Cheney, both voted no, and so I'm like, I don't understand that. I don't understand where this comes from. I've tried, man, to figure out why Republicans may think this. And I think that, I can't remember if you said this yesterday or we were talking about this yesterday, but the only thing I can think of, and Io said it right there, is that the only talking point they have is like, well, you only got 1,400 and we wanted to give you 2,000. It's like, but you guys didn't want to give anything, to be honest with you, so I think the success of this bill is a problem for Republicans. I think it's a huge problem for Republicans, because I think what's going to happen is people are going to pay their bills. You're going to see more and more folks be able to get back to work as this vaccine gets out. And I think that what's going to happen is you're going to see the Republicans scrambling for answers. So that's it. And then getting to the point that I wanted to hit on tonight, you can't give water to people standing in lines anymore in the state of Georgia. Like, that's what they want to happen. This is what kills me about Republicans. They are the sorest losers of all time. They call Democrats snowflakes. They go and try and take their ball home. They don't want to play ball anymore, which kills me. And I've got more to say, but I want to hear what you have to say about this, man, because you're right. It's an all-out assault. I mean,
well, I've got a lot to say. They did the slow burn of gerrymandering for a long time, and Democrats figured it out and have begun to, fight back against that legislation. And, once the public sees that and sees that one particular person has maintained their position in Congress because they've managed to redraw something that, looks like somebody's like
small intestine.
Map my ride kind of route kind of thing to plan out some districting. But it's an interesting side effect, and I'm not happy that the legislation has managed to pass, or at least pass one chamber. But they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
No,
you can't give food and water to people who are standing in line. Well, there's cause and effect here. Why are those people standing in line? Because you've already shut down all their other polling places. So instead of being able to go somewhere like you and I can and walk in and out in 15 minutes, or maybe stay in a line for an hour, these people are standing in line for maybe 8, 10, 12 hours a day. They're already in low income jobs. So asking for this time is difficult. So you want to not be able to give them food and water, which means at some point they have to make a decision, multiple decisions about what is most important to them. And 2, they are limiting the hours and days which early polling can take place. Yep. And something that was very popular in Atlanta, and I've heard this happen elsewhere. I think Indianapolis has done it a little bit, but it's called Souls to the Polls.
Souls to the Polls on Sundays, baby.
It's getting people after church and shuttling them off to their polling places.
And who's the majority of those people?
Again, it's very clearly targeting, Black churches, minorities, and oddly people of faith. Like, you're supposed to be the guardians of the Christian faith, but apparently that really only applies to the white evangelicals and the Southern Baptists and the First Baptists. If you're AME or anything else, you really are not part of the team. Nope. So I mean, at least it's no longer veiled in much the same way that Trump has allowed all these people who were barely keeping their racism under wraps with their statements, and they're nodding a wink. It's out in the open now. So I would think that the campaign to go against this is to make it very straightforward. They are targeting you, this very specific group of people. They are targeting you. Are you going to allow that to happen? What are we going to do about it? And, Biden and the House is proposing some other things to try to fight back against this stuff. So, again, it's an overused phrase, but I think this is a turning point as to how we're going to wrestle power back into the people's hands. Because it's not. When shit like this is allowed to go on, this is not the will of the people. Because, look, what some of those people might be voting Republican. You're literally alienating an entire voting block and consequently losing some votes that may have gone your way already before alienating them. So it's foolish on so many levels, and yet it's Georgia, so it will be successful for at least a little bit.
Well, my hope is that Stacey Abrams is able to, dust off her cape again and, stem this tide, because right now, I think the Attorney General of Georgia he declined. He's like, I'm not presiding over this, because he said, he's like, I know exactly what this is. He's like, so I'm not presiding over the House is what he does. He presides over. I don't know. There's state government that well, but I think it's an indication that people know what's happening. But it's also an indictment. Is it if we know what's happening, then what are we going to do about it? Like, how can we stop this? What are the things that are in place in our country and in our laws and codes that can help us, undermine these efforts? And what I'm seeing is there's not a whole lot that we can do, which I think brings up the bigger systematic question. What the fuck? I mean, it's just like, if you and I were in school and someone was bullying Io, we'd go kick their ass. I mean, that's just what happens. That's what happens. And all three of us would celebrate, high fives, and then we, go and probably smoke weed somewhere. Anyway, but that's in school, where is that at with this? I'm not saying obviously to go beat someone up, but what I'm saying is there seems to be no checks and balances for scenarios like what we're seeing now.
Well, but this is a consequence of basically 100 years of unfettered, Republican superiority in the state of Georgia. So they have, the winners write the rules, man. The winners write the history books.
I get it.
So this doesn't get overturned in a minute. Stacey Abrams did magnificent work, and she'll continue to do so. But it's going to be generations before this can truly be turned around, because you can't possibly imagine how far this runs. This goes all the way down to people on school boards and when garbage gets picked up, man.
Yeah, no, you're right.
This is so ingrained in the system. And this is what a lot of people do not want to acknowledge. And you point it out to them and you're like, well, but that's one instance. But it's like, it's death by, a thousand, I'm mixing metaphors now. But
a thousand needle pricks. It's death by just,
and in this case, it's death by thousands of pricks. But this is what happens. They do all these seemingly innocuous law changes that add up to, oh, wait, they can decide when you vote, where you vote, whether or not somebody could bring you look, the joke immediately was, well, what if you hand out bottles of water and people give 1 cent donations? Okay, that's probably a loophole, but why do we have to fucking jump through a hoop to do a civic duty in this country? Why isn't it just a national holiday?
Yeah.
And Mitch McConnell says, well, that's just another way to get freeloaders a day off. I'm like, to go vote, you turtle-shaped motherfucker.
I don't understand that logic, because he was the one that was pushing for, the Senate not to come back into session to actually, vote on fucking insurrection. No, I need my time. No, we don't want to come back early. No, we'll wait. It's no, man, that's bullshit.
But it's all maneuvering and posturing and the machinations of the way politics work now. And it's going to take a concert, and it's going to take, look, Joe Biden is not the guy for this one. I hate to break anybody's bubble here, but that's not what he got elected for. And that's not what we're asking him to do. What we're asking him to do is set the table for Stacey Abrams, Cory Booker,
Kamala,
Omar, Ayanna Pressley,
AOG.
and not
AOC,
not just people of color, but people who are allies and demonstrating it. But that's few and far between. And to be fair, as much of an ally as I am, if I were elected to state legislature in Indiana, I would have to do more than just say, I'm going to try to work for the Black community, because I have more than the Black community as my constituency. And again, the Black community is not a monolith.
Yeah.
So
right.
Certain segments of the community are going to want some things and certain for another. So it's very difficult to be this single issued on things, but we need to figure out how to make it a part of the national platform and how it can trickle down. And I know it's not the greatest term otherwise, but in this sense, that it can get into the cracks of the existing system and say, here's an opportunity to turn this around. Here's a place where we can exploit this, or we can just flat out say, this shouldn't have never happened in the first place. And let's empower people. Again, though, at the end of the day, it is the will of the people. So while, yes, it's a stacked deck, Georgia remains what it is through democracy. It's a weird thing, man. I'm with you. How do you fight back? Well, you got to figure out all those means. That's where you got to hire a team of lawyers and get clever. And I really don't like that stuff. But this is how the game is designed. So that's how we're going to play it.
I think that and you hit on a point that once again, we have made, I would say probably at least once on every show so far, which we're getting close to a year, aren't we? We're getting close.
Yeah, we're at 50. This is episode 47 or 48. So
okay, great.
4 weeks now.
But you're hitting on a point that we hit on a lot in this show. And I think that the dilemma is that I think there are two separate realities that view democracy very, very different. you know, I think you and I look at democracy and say, hey, look, yeah, while it's the will of the people, there's also a morality to that will that needs to be upheld as well. You know, if you get 100 people and 51 of them are prejudiced bastards, is it your responsibility as a representative of those 100 people to just blindly uphold the will of those folks, or to do the right thing? And I get what happens when you do the right thing, because there are 6 Republican senators and representatives who are feeling the wrath of doing the right, quote unquote, the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're being primaried. They're being, belabored by the GOP. And so I get that, but there are 2 different definitions of democracy, and I think all of them revolve around this concept of citizenship. I still, in our Constitution today, the 3/5 compromise is still in it.
Yeah.
And we still say, oh, well, hey, the Constitution was written for everyone. Well, was it? I mean, if there's any,
so long as you
evidence,
accept your 3/5.
exactly. If there's any evidence that it wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
there it is. And
yeah,
so
it's asking a segment of people to accept a flawed starting point to begin with.
Yep.
I point of order, I dispute this statement from the outset.
Yeah. Right. I mean, think about it as us sitting in a bar, man. If you're like, hey, man, let's meet for drinks, and I'm like, cool, and I come in and I'm already blasted, you're like, man, fuck you. I wanted to get drunk with you. I want to sit here and kind of, hang out and get. We're not starting off at equal levels, although you would be more than capable of catching up with me very quickly. And that's why I love you, my friend. But that's what I'm getting at. It was never starting off the same level. Right. We wanted to set this table. We all wanted to get up to the bar and say, yeah, let's all start out. Let's all have drinks together and blah, blah, blah. But somebody is fucking shotgunning, the beer tap before anybody else gets there. And it's like, well, wait a minute.
You get an awful lot of pushback too. You get people like, well, slavery ended, over 150 years ago, and the Voting Rights Act was 1964, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, but that's only one person's lifetime ago. First off, people were adults in 1964, and they're still alive right now. They're getting up there. Yep. They're still alive. Yep. Interracial marriage was on the books as late as the late 70s, early 80s in some states. Mm-hmm. So don't tell me that there wasn't an ingrained system of racism in this country. That, I mean, to me, there's only 2 other places in the world that have had, true slave societies in place that pretty much distinguish second-class citizens, and that was the Brazilian slave trade, mm-hmm. and apartheid.
Yep.
And then, hey, there's the United States. That's not a great group of people to be hanging out with,
Right.
So our if you want to put rose-colored glasses on it, have we gotten better? Well, I suppose, but I mean, talk about grading on a curve. And as Chris Rock put it, like, I think he said, black people didn't get better. White people just acknowledged their fucked up shit. There've always been black people who are capable of being presidents of companies, of banks of the United States, capable of managing teams and organizations and being contributors in general, like everybody else.
Yep.
And yet we act like it was a breakthrough. Like suddenly in 1964, Lyndon Johnson was like, this black fella has convinced me that, he knows math. So apparently we can move forward now. I mean,
I love the fact you said black fella. That's
well, and I'm guessing Lyndon probably would not have used that term.
Let's give LBJ a little credit. I mean, man did put his signature on there. I'm just saying, just a little bit. I'm not.
He did put his signature on it, but he probably had his dick out in the Oval Office, waving it around, going, "Look what I'm doing, motherfuckers!"
Exactly. Yeah.
Which he did. I don't know if you know your
Oh, that's a
history,
historical
but
fact, my friend. That is a
LBJ used to
historical fact.
like to drop trow when people challenged his opinion on things, and
Yep.
apparently
Yes, he did.
he always won that.
Yeah. And wow, there's so much I could say, but
Everything's
I'm not going
bigger
to.
in Texas, apparently.
Well, not everything.
Let's
Not
transition.
everything, man.
Let's
All right.
real quick. I think before we get to the halfway point, after 5 years of being snubbed, Merrick Garland was confirmed as Attorney General. So I'm pretty sure he'd rather have been on the Supreme Court, but Attorney General is not too bad of a consolation prize. And I hope he has some ideas in mind for what he can do for the next couple of years.
Did you see any of it? I mean, did you see his talk or anything like that he gave?
No. I know the guy's brilliant. I mean, and here's what's funny was
poignant.
He was super popular amongst Republicans 5 years ago until Mitch McConnell crafted his master plan. And again, in the world of politics, I guess
it was
good
beautiful.
job, Mitch McConnell.
Beautiful.
But what goes around comes around, and you got to believe that this is a little bit of political karma. And it would be funny, funny, like laugh out loud funny, if Merrick Garland's obvious pursuit of Trump and Trump's admin and people who were obviously breaking the law for 4 years or longer, if that swept up Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell in it. I mean, we already know
Taylor Greene.
We already know. Well, she won't be part of it, but I mean, he can go to her for maybe the insurrection stuff. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah.
I mean, we already know McConnell's wife was misusing federal funds. And God only knows what Trump and the Russians have on Lindsey Graham, because that guy is just
he is so
in the dictionary next to the word sellout is an 8x10 glossy of that dude, man.
And also denial of probably, and that's the thing. I think that Lindsey Graham is one of the most suppressed gay men in America.
That may be true.
I think so. I think
don't like using that as a cudgel to beat the man with.
No, that's not what I'm using it for. I'm just saying I'm making a point. This is what they and this is what
that
they
his
would
closetedness.
Use. Oh, absolutely, they would use. That.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah,
with
no.
that.
I think he's one of the most suppressed gay men in America. It's just my opinion. And the problem is that Republicans will use that, and they will use their macho bullshit to keep him under wraps. And that's in my opinion, that's what's happening. That's it.
Well, I mean, look at what they're doing with the Madison Cawthorn dude. I mean, he's a creep.
Yep.
He's a creep. And you know what? It turns out maybe Andrew Cuomo's a creep. And if that's the case, then dude should resign. And yet again, folks, here's the main difference between, if you want to call it left and right, Democrats, Republicans, but if there's evidence that Cuomo did wrongdoing, and there seems to be quite a few accusations that are holding up under scrutiny, then the guy should resign, walk away from this, and try to regroup. At this point, you'd say being president isn't in the cards, but look at the last guy. So, this shit's only important to Republicans if it's a Democrat doing it. Otherwise, they don't give a shit. And in fact, they cheer it on. I mean, they are the frat boys at a party, watching a drunk girl get abused.
Oh, yeah.
They are. They're Brett Kavanaugh's. Madison Cawthorn is just the next generation. And you know what? They exist everywhere. But when we see them, we say, no, fuck that. Get out of here. Don't want you around.
Yep.
So,
and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at halftime. Dude, what you got for us this week? Nick McDonald is watching. Hey, Nick, what's up, buddy?
Right on. He is. I didn't even see.
Yeah.
Let me hit refresh. It is Women's History Month, and I don't have a whole lot prepared, but I do want to shout out to the most important women in my life. My mom, of course, my aunts, her closest sisters, and my grandmothers, who were awesome. And most of all, my wife, just the best women I know. And they have all made me proud, made me smile, or looked after me, or perhaps scolded me, and I guess I include every one of those women in that too, at some point in time, and chances are I deserved it. So
there you go.
Cheers to the women in my life, and I'm sure your mother as well, Mama Casey.
Absolutely.
And all you other ladies out there for watching, tuning in. Our regulars, Gia, Candle, if I'm missing anybody, JoJo, to all the women out there. We gave you a month.
And it's not even the shortest month of the year. So there you go. That's good. Sláinte, everyone.
Sláinte.
Wow. So there's a couple things I want to talk about in the second half of the show. Okay. Did you know how fucking racist the Midwest really was, man? I mean,
yes. I grew up here.
Well, I did too. It's so, I don't even know how to describe it, Aaron. It's not that I'm surprised. It literally isn't, man. It's not that I'm surprised. It's just, it shocks me to no end. It's 2020 fucking one, man. Come on. I'm like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand. And I'm specifically speaking about Indiana. And dude, I tell you, I've gotten and I ordered all of my documents, reordered them in order to get my passport. So Canada, whenever you accept us again, I am literally, I'm really thinking about it long and hard. And I know that there's bullshit there too, but I've never seen it like this, man. I've never seen it like this.
Again, this is the dual reality of the anonymity and distance of social media inflating people's, sense of sort of aggressive statements on the internet, and the rise of Trumpism and white nationalism and shit like that. These people feel empowered to say these things. And I've reached a point where I kind of want to just flag them. I don't want to engage it. I don't want to respond to it. I don't believe I'm going to change these people's mind, because by and large, I've seen some of the things that you encounter, and you pointed out, and they're like, "Well, that's not racist." I'm just saying that Michelle Obama might look like a creature from Africa. I mean, why would you take that in such a way, Evan, as to be racist? Actually, I think you're the racist.
And that's the second thing I wanted to talk about.
And you're like, okay, completely unself-aware person from the Midwest. Sadly, it exists everywhere. But yes, it does seem to have really ramped up lately.
I just, and for me, and I'm looking right now because I'm blown away and amazed at
it's so flippant and casual.
It is. It's flippant and casual, but is it? Okay, so I want to believe that this is a simple lack of intelligence. And here's why I want to believe that, because I'm a glass kind of full guy. Okay.
I'm a glass 1/8 full guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just
both,
like,
oh
my God.
Both.
Yeah, no, Io, you're right. I mean, it's unmasked, and yes, that's why I'm not surprised.
Well, but unmasking it ramps it up. When you feel like you can only say this shit around your friends and your pals and whatever, but somebody made it okay. So when you make it okay, it's going to happen more. Okay? You tell people they can't do something, they only do it, and they pick and choose, and they fight back. And then it becomes a thing, right? Like, how many Obama jokes went around amongst a whole lot of folks for 8 years, and still do.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have dared say that shit out loud. Now, under the cover of their dear leader for the last 4 years, oh, hey Evan, let me tell you a joke, and you're like, motherfucker, that's not funny,
right?
That's
some racist bullshit.
And I know I know these people get like, oh my God, how dare you, a racist? You're playing the racist card because you said some racist shit.
Yes,
I'm not name calling.
No, it's just calling it for what it is.
You compared a woman of color. I mean, this shit's been going on for a long time.
I don't know how.
And by the way, if you need an example, let me open Dr. Seuss's books to you.
Oh God, I don't know how many of you guys, watching Troy, Io, Nick, anybody else that's watching. I don't know how many of you saw this, but Michelle Obama, along with Mia Hamm, and several other women, were inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame, this past week. And when WTHR, and I don't understand, WTHR in Indianapolis, I don't know why the, racist, rally has picked WTHR to be the place where they
have, though, haven't they?
Oh my God. Like they have a monthly meeting. Black folk, we don't have a monthly meeting. Racists have a monthly meeting. I am convinced they do.
They could post. You said RTV, right?
WRTV, yeah.
RTV could.
No, WTHR.
Oh, I was thinking WRTV. I follow WRTV closer than I do WTHR on Facebook.
Okay.
But you get the same thing. WRTV could post some really nice days coming up with highs in the 60s, and then it's going to take a turn for the worse as the weekend goes into the 40s and in the 30s. And the first response would be, what's this liberal bullshit about climate change? And you guys, you're doing again, pushing your agenda. It's like they're reporting
Obama.
Weather. We think it's going to be 60 for a few days, and then it's probably going to drop and get cold and then rain this weekend. Oh, that's clearly it's the liberal agenda.
Yeah, Obama's fault.
To make winter last longer into spring? Really?
God.
Okay. Thank God we're not using the Jewish space lasers.
I don't understand those people that say, the CDC, it's a big conspiracy. They want to keep us under wraps. Do you understand that the CDC is made up of human beings who probably want to go to restaurants and eat with their friends and drink after all the bullshit they've been through? Why the hell would they want to keep us in our houses? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Let's revisit a key point here. Their argument is that China's health organization, the World Health Organization, and the CDC, and Dr. Fauci have all conspired to manufacture a virus, pretend that it's impacting Asia when it really isn't, exporting it to the rest of the world, specifically the Western world, and that none of that shit's come out. Clearly,
that makes no sense.
Clearly, nobody in QAnon or anywhere on the right is a project manager. Do you know how
that makes no sense whatsoever?
Evan, if you and I told 3 people this is a secret, and we told them about, like, okay, man, we did something stupid. We had sex with a cow in a cornfield. Do you know how quickly everybody in Fishers would fucking know that? Like that would just be front page, like at Chatham Tap, it would just be like, oh my God, did you hear, like, Evan and Aaron decided to tag team a cow?
As soon as we walked in, itid be like crickets. It's like,
no. We'd walk in and it'd be crickets, and then somebody'd go moo, and you'd be like, hey, what? What's this bullshit? You can't keep a secret. People think this JFK was some gigantic conspiracy theory. Are you kidding me? Over the course of 80 years, you're telling me nobody was me like, you know what? This guy. I mean, to think that this level could go, never mind Pizza Pedophile Kitchen, never mind all the other Jewish space lasers and all this shit. Have you seen it's gotten to the point where Alex Jones has renounced Q? How fucked up do you have to be when Alex Jones is like, too much for me, man? I'm out.
Wow. No, I have not. And that's what I've honestly, and for those of you out there who love the sport of, calling out racists like I do, that's what I've resorted to calling them. I'm like, no, ease up, QAnon. Hang on just a minute, man. I'm like, hey, pump brakes a little bit, QAnon. And honestly, Aaron, seriously, I've not had anybody push back on me about that.
Well, aside from the adrenaline rush of it, it seems
The
like
adrenaline.
well, but it seems like I'm gonna make a weird analogy here.
There's no weird analogies
In
at,
the festival
pub night.
concert world. Nitrous oxide is known as hippie crack. And nitrous oxide gets you super high for approximately 30 seconds.
Okay.
Then it takes about 3 minutes to come down, and then you immediately want more of it. It is the most ridiculous high to chase in the world. I liken what you do to that. For a couple minutes, you're like, yeah, fuck this guy, put him in his place. But at the end of the day, you know you didn't change his mind.
I know.
And the only way you can get that feeling again is to go search out the next dumbass redneck with wraparound fucking tactical specs of a selfie that he took in his car. And
I have a problem, don't I?
So there's
no.
I'm just no. I'm just this is you and I having a conversation in front of the world. But and look, I'm not saying I'm perfect and follow this to the T, because every once in a while I just can't help myself. Especially
I get it.
Especially on stupid Man U fans. But which is not the equivalent by any means. But
yeah, no.
But my point is that today, Julian Edelman read Myler Leonard's stupid comments and sent him an open letter and said, hey man, I don't think your anti-Semitic comments came from a place of hatred and maliciousness. I think they came from a place of ignorance, and they were the only words you knew how to use in that moment. And I invite you to hang out with me and my friends in Miami for a Shabbat dinner.
I saw that.
And I'll educate you about what it means to be Jewish and why you have nothing to be afraid of. That right there is the hard work, because people who are fucking up oftentimes don't know they're the fuck ups. So we have to take a step toward them. Now, if you take a step toward them and they step back, and you take another step toward them and they take another step back, well, there's only so many steps you can take if they don't want to be helped.
Sure.
But Julian Edelman in this moment recognized a young man who has probably made a mistake. And I'm not excusing it. He fucked up. You don't say shit like that. But
right.
As I've always said, you can kind of tell the difference between people who are like, I'm just a full-on racist motherfucker, and other people who are like, I'm either doing this for the performance aspect of it, or I don't know better. Myler Leonard should know better, because he knows he knew he used a word intending to insult and put down people, but he used it haphazardly from the standpoint of like, if you busted into like Chatham Tap and called everybody the N-word, a whole bunch of us would be like, you keep using this word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Thanks a lot, man. I'm picturing this right now. I'm picturing it.
It would be Mark. It would be Mark Moore. It would be Mark Moore incorrectly using a joke. Sorry, Mark Moore. You're probably not watching this show, so I'm not worried.
He's probably okay.
He would be inappropriately making. But you get my point. Like if I ran into a group of like Asians and like insulted them with a Native American slur, they'd be like, "You've got us." Like you're still a dick.
Yeah, right.
Because you were intending to be insulting, but you're you've got your racism all fucked up. And I think that some people, they've heard a term, they know it's meant to be crass and insulting, so they just throw it out there, right? Right? Look, when we were young, as boys, we knew how to emasculate a fellow friend.
Oh yeah,
there were a couple particular words, right?
It was wrong.
We knew how to do it, but in the context, we were taking something that was supposedly socially unacceptable and using it as a slur towards somebody who wasn't that.
Yes, you're right.
That is easily corrected. I don't like this phrase, boys will be boys kind of thing. Because it excuses a lot of behavior.
That got us the last 4 years of this bullshit.
I think that's how you go about correcting that behavior. Now,
Yeah.
somebody who grows up and decides that they absolutely hate black people or Asian people or whatever, that's a tougher deal, man. I don't know that just offering an olive branch does anything. Clearly it doesn't, because we got a lot of white supremacists out there. But if you notice, I mean, I don't know what exactly the Proud Boys stand for, but they've got a weirdly diverse makeup of people who seem to hate themselves.
Yeah. Toxic masculinity is at the center of what the Proud
white
Boys.
Masculinity. But I mean, in the same way that there were, Jewish ghetto commandants,
sure,
and a lot of Jewish comedians that dove deep into self-deprecating Jewish humor for a long time.
Sure.
I mean, I think Candace Owens makes a living off hating herself and her own community. This isn't anything new, but I'm not sure how you reach. I think Myler Leonard can be shown the error of his ways, and that might be youth, and it might be the way he was approached. But I think there's something that can be corrected there.
Yeah.
Candace Owens has made a conscious decision to make money off hating blackness.
That's it. And you're absolutely right. And you're right that Julian Edelman, what an example. I mean, the guy got it. He got it right this time. I mean, he really did. And
the whole Patriots thing's a fuck up, but still.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say this, is that my most meaningful interactions on Facebook have been those times, like you said, where I went in and I just was like, okay, let's approach this from a totally objective angle. And I'm not kidding you. I've had like 3 or 4 conversations with folks that ended very cordially.
Mm-hmm.
That ended with, wow, I didn't even think about that. And I said the same thing. I'm like, okay, it's good understanding your point of view, because it gives me an opportunity to sit and think about things.
Yeah.
And I think that when we are able to do that, because I know I called it a sport, and it is a sport. And I agree with Io. There are just some motherfuckers out there that need it. They're going to talk shit and they need to be sat down. But you're right. There are those folks out there that are saying the things that they've been taught to say. Mm-hmm. And when somebody, rationally said, when you can pick up on that, when you can rationally say, okay, look, I really want to understand why you said what you said. I think that you're right. That creates so much understanding. Io says, so y'all just going to talk about this and not mention how Papa John, who has taken the last 20 months to try and get the N word out of his vocabulary, because I don't know about y'all, but this is hilarious. Now, here's the thing. I think, Shaq stepped in and said, okay, bruh, I'm going to need you to step to the back, and I'm going to need me to.
All right. I don't know this one. You guys are going to have to fill me in.
Oh my God. You didn't hear about Papa John?
I saw that he was in the news the other day. And I believe he was responding to the Meghan Markle Harry thing.
So, and I was right, like a year and a half ago, a couple of years ago, actually.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He was drunk.
Yeah. Exactly. So he's taken 20 months to get the N word out of his vocabulary. In the meantime, Shaq said, "Bruh, you're gonna need to step back. I got this." And yeah, I agree with you, Io. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. But
I mean, what happened recently? I don't.
Well,
I mean,
no,
what
I think
did Shaq say?
He came out and he said that, hey, I have actively been removing this word from my vocabulary. Rolled out the whole rolled out the podium type deal. I'm sorry that this happened. And Aaron, guess which news station interviewed him?
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. Yes. So that brings me to my favorite part of the show.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about a lot of like heavy stuff, but tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going with our Hey Aaron segment, and we are going to be talking about something that is near and dear to both my Aaron, and probably every single one of yours heart. And that is mixed drinks. We're going to talk about drinking tonight.
Drank.
And yep, we're going to talk about drinking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the ingredients of popular mixed drinks.
Ooh,
And
okay.
Aaron, whenever you have figured out what this mixed drink is,
Sounds like just a bartender's exam.
hey, there you go. I'm just saying. And whenever you figure this out,
Whenever we want to get sponsored, you guys can just jump on board.
There you go. Absolutely. You just shout it out. Now, for those, couple folks who are with us still, if you have an answer to this, please put it in the chat. Okay. But here we go. First one. This drink is perfect for relaxed get-togethers, and it's even better if you make it the night before and let the flavors steep. But watch out, it goes down easy. Here are the directions. In a pitcher, stir together 1 bottle of Merlot, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of orange liqueur, and 1 cup of brandy until the sugar has dissolved. Top with 3 cups of cold lemon lime soda or sparkling water and your choice of sliced fruit. Serve over ice. That
is sangria, my friend.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Io's. Whoa, Io. Hang on now. Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide sings about it now. Come on now. Mr. Worldwide now. All right.
Fireball.
Anyway, all right. So very good.
Io, to answer your question, I believe it was either Fox or OAN, and I'm gonna guess he went full inward and went OA inward is what we're now calling.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably what it was. All right, next one.
But you're right.
Original. I'm sorry. What?
To be fair, Fireball is what white people follow up White Claw with.
Ooh, see, I have no. I'm not knocking it because
you never had a White Claw?
I was raised right. My mama raised me right. I don't talk about people's drinks. I don't talk about their food. I'm just like, oh, good.
White Claw serves a very specific purpose, and that is, are you going to be on a beach or a boat in 80+ degree weather all day long? Drink this. Because
really?
They're refreshing kind of spritzers. They taste better than other things that have come along for years, and you can drink a lot of them.
Huh.
And there's not so much sugar that it's going to destroy you.
The way
some of the others can be, because it's more of a seltzer, so it's not pure sugar.
Some people, some of the very people that I love most dear drink White Claw, and I'm like, okay, good for you, excellent.
Some people think cucumbers taste better pickled.
I agree. Anyway, here we go. Originally developed in the 1940s, this drink has made a big comeback and is now one of the most popular mixed drinks. Could it be its refreshing taste or that? Nope, I'm not even going to say it. Here's the directions. Combine. Wait, what did he say?
I got to be honest here. As long as they're straddling something, I don't care.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to stay away from that one.
White girls on a boat.
Directions. See, I get in trouble thinking about white girls on a boat. So anyway, I'm just saying.
I'm exercising my white privilege right now.
There you go. That's right. Combine 4 cups of ginger beer, 2/3 cup. Damn.
Do you know how that drink came about?
No, I don't. No.
So apparently there was a guy who was trying to figure out a way to make Russian and Eastern European vodka. He was a rep, I believe, a rep for Smirnoff back in the day. I could be wrong about that. This could be totally apocryphal. But it was a chance meeting of a guy who was trying to be a distributor and get vodka, sold in the United States. Because up to that point, it was basically gin and whiskey were the drinks that you drank at the time. And he ran into a guy at a bar who was a copper cup salesman. And they came up with the drink. They're like, we both need to sell this. What can we do? And they came up with, the ginger ale, ginger beer concoction, because I guess that was available at the time too. And I'm surely missing out on a lot of details. That's the Aaron Gordon Reader's Digest version of the story, but it was basically that, just a chance meeting between a guy trying to sell Russian vodka and a guy trying to sell copper mugs. and they created a drink, and there you go.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
Pimm's
hey, Roger, good to have you with Pimm's number one.
Pimm's is kind of a similar story because they like set out to create the drink, like the Pimm's cup. But it's funny. There's, everybody knows that Pimm's cup is Pimm's number one, but there's like Pimm's all the way through like 14. They have a whole bunch of different versions of that alcohol.
Interesting.
And if you watch Archer, it can also be called a Pimp cup. Sorry, sir. I thought you said Pimp cup.
So, which I've got to start watching Archer again, but I have been on this Letterkenny kick. I'm sorry, guys. You can take the boy out of Gal Police, but you can't take the Gal Police out.
Last two seasons of Archer have lost me a little bit. Need convince me I need to rewatch this past season. So I'll give it a moment. Once I finish season one of phrasing. Once I finish season one of fucking The Wire, I'll switch back.
Oh, there you go.
I've been sidelined. I've been watching
That's all right.
Too much sports lately.
No worries. Let's move on.
Let's
move on. Okay. Do you want this easy? Wait a minute. How does Tina Turner say it? Do you like it nice and easy, or do you like it rough and fast? Because there's an easy definition that you'll get immediately, but there's a rough and fast that if I just read the ingredients, I don't know.
All right.
Which way do you want?
Whichever you think would be more difficult.
Oh, yeah. It's
the
rough.
First two were not.
Okay, here we go. 2 ounces of vodka, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, half tablespoon lime juice, 3/4 tablespoon Worcestershire, 1 cup tomato juice, half teaspoon horseradish, 1/8 teaspoon pepper, 1/8 teaspoon celery salt, 1/8 teaspoon hot pepper sauce to shaker. Cover and shake. Strain into the prepared glass. Garnish as desired. Prepared glass. Garnish the rim with celery salt.
This is the more difficult version of the question?
Yes.
Okay. What's a Bloody Mary?
Yes, it is a Bloody Mary, my friend. Danger zone. I like that.
Zone.
Okay. Anyway, that must be a reference I don't get. But yes, no, Bloody Mary. Hey, here's what I found out about Bloody Mary.
Archer is the most quotable show I've ever encountered. You will after about the first 3-4 seasons, it's more quotable than Chappelle. I said it.
Io, I need you to weigh in on this, man. He's challenging Chappelle here. I don't know.
Because people always go back to the same 3-4 things with Chappelle, and with Archer, man, there's a lot to work with. Okay. And by the way, for those of you out there who apparently enjoy themselves some Archer, go back a little further and watch you some Frisky Dango. You can get them online.
Okay.
Weirdest.
Oh, Io. Okay. Woo. Aaron, my man. Okay.
I don't just drop knowledge.
Okay. Here we go. Next one. The concept of this drink dates back to the early 1800s. This version was extremely popular in Wisconsin. In a rocks glass, muddle 1. Oh, damn it. You'll get this. Muddle 1 orange slice, 1 maraschino cherry, 1 and 1/2 ounce maraschino cherry juice, and 1 teaspoon bitters. Add 1/4 cup of ice. Pour in 1 1/2 ounce of brandy, not whiskey, 2 teaspoons of water, 1 teaspoon orange juice, and 3 ounces of lemon lime soda. Very close, Io. Very close. Actually, I'm going to say Io's got it. I'm going to say he's got it. It is a brandy old-fashioned sweet. It's an old-fashioned, but it's the Wisconsin version of it.
But a Manhattan and an old-fashioned are not the same thing.
I know, but it's close. It's close. It's close.
It's not close to Wisconsin.
You know what?
I thought you were going with. I I thought you were going
Can
to
I
go
have
with
my
a
brother's-
Wisconsin lunchbox.
Whoa. I don't even know what that is.
Wisconsin lunchbox is what? Orange juice with a shot of vodka in it dropped into a beer? Or is that a... No, I think that's a Wisconsin lunchbox.
What?
Yeah, let me get that right.
Ooh. Damn.
Wisconsin lunchbox.
All right.
Fill a beer mug with beer in orange
Okay.
juice. Oh, and drop a shot glass full of amaretto. My bad. So it's mostly beer with, you finish it with orange juice or however much orange juice you would like, and then drop a shot glass full of amaretto, which seems a little light now that I think about it. But after a couple of those, it'd be pretty good. I haven't done, big drink slammers like that for a minute.
Okay. Here's an easy one because I'm going to do it in a voice. I felt the need to. Fill a shaker, 3/4 full of ice. Add 3 ounces of gin or vodka and 1/2 ounce dry vermouth. Cover and shake until condensation forms on the outside of shaker. Strain into a chilled cocktail glass. Garnish with olives.
So it should definitely be shaken and not stirred.
Absolutely.
According to the West Wing, that's not true. They say to shake it breaks up the ice and makes it more watery, and therefore it's a watered down drink. I don't know. That's
It's a watered down what?
Martini.
There you go. Thank you.
There'd be an awful lot of people who argue that a true martini should be made with gin and not vodka. I'm not one of those people because I think gin tastes like poo.
I agree. If I have a martini, I want vodka. I want it dirty, extra dirty. I want it to
taste like Moneypenny.
Oh,
Ring out Moneypenny. Never mind. I'm not going there.
Wow. Yeah. Here we go. My maternal grandma was never a drinker beyond a glass of champagne at Christmas, but she couldn't resist this. Divide 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 ounces of Jameson between 2 mugs, then top with... This is a problem when you do this after you've been drinking because you realize how easy it is.
Well, first off, did you think you were going to stump me with alcoholic beverages?
Yeah, some of them.
You had a better shot with the Marvel comics a month or two ago, but me and drinking are like hand in glove.
And then top with coffee. If desired, beat together 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream and 1 teaspoon of green cream. Hey, we talked about this in one of our podcasts before. The heavy whipping cream. Remember that?
Is an Irish coffee.
It's an Irish coffee.
I love an Irish coffee. That's the perfect way to start off a long day at our favorite watering hole when you're going to watch like 2 or 3 soccer games back to back and then maybe go into college football or some NFL or dare I say baseball season.
Woo-hoo. The Reds are sucking like they usually do in spring training, but that's okay.
Hasn't even begun.
That's okay. Season hasn't begun. Okay, my friend, couple more. Here you go. Now I think I can get you here. Probably can't, but I think I can get you here. Speaking of Marvel, y'all watched WandaVision, and where are you in the Wire? Oh, okay. I think he addressed the Wire before IO. I think you're not done with season 1 yet, right, Aaron?
First off, Aaron Sorkin probably doesn't know dick. Anything. I mean, the guy can write clever dialogue, but it's not. IO, I am at either episode 8 or 9 in the Wire. The problem is I start it like tonight after the show. So by the 3rd or 4th episode, I really don't remember what went on. So I got to go back and watch it again. So happens quite a bit. Have not watched WandaVision because I've heard mixed takes on it. I'm going to let that sit for a minute before I come back to it. So it's not out there in the ether and I'm influenced by everybody's opinion. But apparently it was Agatha all along.
I've not checked it out yet.
Thank you, Internet, for ruining for everyone.
I haven't checked it out. Okay, here we go. Place ice in a rocks glass. Top with 1 ounce of vodka and 1 ounce of Kahlua.
That's a Black Russian.
Yes, it is, my friend. It is a Black Russian, my friend. That's how you know that I've been drinking.
One of the best jokes in all of Trading, or not Trading Places, 48 Hours.
I can't.
By the
remember.
way, that movie does not stand up to the test of time.
No.
I bet Nick Nolte really regrets some of his lines in that movie. But the bartender saying, "I figured you'd order a Black Russian," and then Eddie Murphy destroys the bar.
Yes, exactly. All right, my friend. Cover and refrigerate simple syrup for at least 20 hours. Or I'm sorry, 2 hours, or until chilled.
Good Lord, who has that kind of time?
I know. For each serving, place one ice cube in a cup or rocks glass. Pour 1/4 cup mint syrup and 1 ounce bourbon into the glass.
Mint julep. Dude, we live too close to Louisville for this.
Yeah, we do. We live too close to Louisville. Damn.
Also, I could probably be a bartender.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the pros out there. I'm not in any way, but
you know the formulas.
I know the formula. I could, yes. I would need Gabe and Rudy to really show me the true cocktail, get on the bar, read poems to people kind of thing.
Okay, Roger, you're right. That's a softball, but here we go. Now we're getting into it. I should wait. Yeah, you should wait for the bourbon. Here we go. Place ice in a Collins or highball glass. Add 1 1/2 ounces of tequila, 4 1/2 ounces of orange juice to the glass. Then slowly pour 1 1/2 teaspoons of grenadine over a bar spoon into the center of the drink. Garnish with an orange slice and cherry.
This is a Mel Gibson, Kurt Russell movie from the 80s.
God. Which is
Tequila Sunrise.
Damn. Okay.
Or it's a shitty Eagles song, whichever way.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It is a shitty Eagles song.
I'm just saying.
Tequila Sunrise.
I have no.
We're the whitest group in history.
We
do so much cocaine. We don't even know when the cocaine will end.
Okay, here we go. Fill a shaker 3/4 full of ice. Place additional ice in a rocks glass. Set aside. Add 2 ounces of light rum, 3/4 ounces of triple sec, 1/2 ounce lemon juice, 1 1/2 teaspoons lime juice, 1 1/2 teaspoons amaretto to the shaker. Cover and shake for 15 seconds or until condensation forms on the outside of shaker. Strain into prepared glass. Garnish as desired.
I'm going to need you to run down that list again because I looked at Roger's post and now all I can think about is the drunk history episode of Chris Christopherson recording Sunday Morning Coming Down.
Okay.
Great. It's one of the best drunk history episodes.
Okay.
Sunday Morning Coming Down.
Here we go. Fill a shaker 3/4 full of ice. Place additional ice in a rocks glass. Set aside. Add 2 ounces of light rum, 3/4 ounce of triple sec, 1/2 ounce lemon juice, 1 1/2 teaspoons lime juice, and 1 1/2 teaspoons amaretto to a shaker. Cover and shake for 10 to 15 seconds or until condensation forms on the outside of shaker. Strain into prepared glass. Garnish as desired.
Rum? You said rum.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
This was heading into a margarita direction for a long time there.
Not quite.
God, a daiquiri?
No.
I think you got me on this one.
Did I get you on this one? Does anybody out there know that one? Anybody? All right.
God, hold on.
2 ounces of light rum, 3/4 ounce triple sec, 1/2 ounce lemon juice, 1 1/2 teaspoons of lime juice, 1 1/2 teaspoons amaretto. Shake it for about 10 to 15 seconds and then pour into the glass. Ios, he's given up. He says no clue.
Yeah, you got me on that one, man.
That would be a Mai Tai.
That's a Mai Tai?
That is a Mai Tai.
Bring me a Mai Tai.
Yeah. It sounds like a bunch of yummy goodness, but it also sounds like a hell of a headache. I'm just telling you.
That sounds, that sounds strong, sweet, and probably will put your ass in the sand.
I'm telling you. All right. So this last one I have, it's an iconic drink. This last one I have, I'm going to do
a straight shot of Jameson.
No. I am going to have you do a name that tune, but name that description. How many words do you want to start out with to name this description?
What?
It's like a name that tune. How many notes can you name that tune? Just put a wager. Like how many words?
10.
Does anybody want to beat 10 words? I mean, come on, people. 10 words. Really, Aaron? I'm kind of disappointed in that, man.
Fine. 3.
Oh. Can anybody beat 3 words? Silence is golden. Here we go. 3 ounces gin.
Aviation.
No.
Okay. Seems like those words should have been ingredients and not, amounts of one ingredient, but that's why I said that's why I said 10 words, because I'm figuring 10 words would at least get me.
Okay. So let's redo this. I'm sorry. I didn't understand the rules that you just made up to my game. Anyway.
Sounds like you didn't have any rules for your own game. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
Okay, so let's go whole, directions. Okay, so 10 words.
You could seriously. I said 3 words, and you could have been like, "This drink starts."
Well, I could have, but I didn't. Okay, so let's do.
3 ounces of gin is a shot of gin.
Do better than 10 words. Come on.
What? 20 or 8?
No. Yeah. Okay. 8. Here we go. Pour 3 ounces of gin, 4 ounces tonic.
Are you shitting?
No, it stopped right there.
A gin and tonic?
Yeah. Why do you think I chose that one, man? Because that's your wheelhouse right there, brother. I'm just saying. I mean, I know it's not gin, but it's a vodka
or tonic. No.
Okay.
I'm vodka and soda with a lime.
There you go.
Tonic's bad for you with all the quinine, and it tastes like shit.
Oh, wow.
But quinine covers up gin, which is why more people do gin and tonic.
You guys have just seen the dissolving of like our friendship right in front of you because I could not name my friend's favorite drink properly. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You got everything else right. Trust me.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
I won't hold that against you at all.
Okay, don't hold that against me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's my second favorite part of the show. It is the where Aaron takes us home. So, Aaron, man, what you got for us? What's the final word, brother?
Well, today was a sad day for some of us. For the first time in 16 years, quinine is good for digestion in limited amounts, though. In limited amounts, like if you drink 7 gin and tonics in a row, it's maybe not the quinine that's the problem. Still, for the first time in 16 years, there will be no Lionel Messi and no Cristiano Ronaldo in the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Porto.
PSG.
Mm-hmm.
I am not one to say that, oh my God, what's happened to Cristiano? What's happened to Lionel? These are things that happen in sports, but it is a milestone. It's a big milestone. These two have defined you know, just the landscape of football and the competition, the competitive level where you need to be considered a superstar for a decade and a half. And they're not going to stop. Their time is slowly coming to an end, but we still got a few more years out of these greats. But I think what's more interesting are the teams stepping in to really compete. You know, you got your traditionals, you got your Bayern Munichs. I guess at this point you consider PSG, you know, with their money up there.
Yeah.
Some good teams advancing, but this is unique. And I think it gives an opportunity for other players to get the spotlight. You know, I think it's time for Mbappe to shine. But this is interesting to discuss because time catches up with all of us. But that doesn't mean you don't still have things to offer. These guys are going to continue to do more. They're going to finish out their careers as veteran players, and then they're going to go on to do something else because that's what these guys do. They are driven. And that's a metaphor for the rest of us. Look, not all of us can be Cristianos and Lionel Messis, but we can give the same level of dedication. We can find things to throw our passions behind and make, you know, being able to give water and food to people standing in line at the polls our Champions League. We can make that a battle we want to fight for. We can say that this is bullshit, that you don't want people going to the polls on Sunday, and make that our battle. And you don't have to be a world-class athlete to do it. You just have to dedicate yourself to a cause and say, this will not stand while I'm around. And that's where we are. Their battle lines are drawn. And I hate to put it in those terms, but you know what? I don't have to worry about constantly wondering whether I get pulled over by a police officer. I don't have to worry about whether or not being transgender could get me beaten to death on a Friday night because I flirted with the wrong person. I don't have to worry about a lot of things out there in the world. And because of that, I have an obligation to use that privilege. And I'm not saying Cristiano and Lionel Messi started out as privileged, but they are now. They are at a unique place, and we can emulate these great people in everyday acts. You don't have to score 50 points in a basketball game. You can just be the person that convinced the school board that school lunches for impoverished kids should be free. You don't have to be Cristiano's abs, and they're amazing. You don't have to be Cristiano's abs to let people know that, you know, getting back to school means getting teachers the vaccine, which good job, Indiana. And let's hope they go all the way up through college level. If you really want people to go back to work, go back to school, then everybody gets the vaccine. That's how this works. You don't skip steps 1, 2, and 3 just to get to step 5. That's not how this works. We can all be heroes. We can all be champions. And the first step is deciding you want to do it. You can all be heroes out there. You can all be a champion. And you know what? Both those guys will tell you that the bit part player, the supposed water carrier, the guy who doesn't get the accolades, are just as important to the team. This is a team effort. Making America what we want it to be is a team effort. So if you volunteer locally just a little bit, or you decide to run for office, or you do whatever, you're contributing, you're helping the team win. And this is where we are. Let's not go another 16 years without it.
Yep.
Love you all. Thank you for tuning in. We're going on a year, and quite frankly, I feel like it gets better and better every week. I love the interaction. I love that people tune in. I love being able to talk to Evan, and I love the fact that, you know, this is going to continue. This is now important. Lift all your mask mandates in other states you want, lift all the restaurants and shit like that. And we might be able to see each other. And, you know, I hope to someday soon do this podcast from a booth in the corner at the tap or outside or whatever. And we're sitting there together we're still going to do this because it's important to get us all talking, to commune, to be community. That's the whole point. That's what the pub was. The pub is the public house. And this is what we're doing. This is our public house. And thank you for joining the public house, and take care. We'll see you again next week.
Black people vote.
Black people vote.